Good morning, everybody. I'm Senator Ana Hernandez and a member of the Family Justice Collective. Thank you to everyone that has joined us here this morning, but especially the families standing behind me and some of the ones that are at home that couldn't join us in person. Today is a culmination of over 2 years of work from the families gathered here and the families that are part of the collective. That work has been in writing the Family Bill of Rights that we will be introducing today. We all came together after tragic experiences of losing our loved ones to police violence. It is an unimaginable experience that you can never be prepared for. But what we learned as we came together to support each other on this path is that what we were experiencing after losing such beloved members of our families is that our experiences were the norm and not the exception. We quickly learned that there was an even more traumatic path waiting for us as we tried to get answers. As we navigated the system in looking for answers and accountability on police violence, we faced endless roadblocks in obtaining police reports, investigative reports, personal belongings of our loved ones, and access to resources. We also faced being treated without dignity and continuous lack of communication by local police departments and city officials. As we shared these experiences, what we found was that as family members of those killed by the police, that we had zero rights when it came to the law. Peace officers have a Bill of Rights. Victims of other crimes have a Bill of Rights. Yet my family and the countless families that share our experience have no rights. Through that, we decided that we were no longer willing to accept being treated without dignity and respect, and we got to working on drafting the Family Bill of Rights. This bill would guarantee different rights to any family that has lost a loved one to police violence. I will go through a few of the provisions of the bill, and those provisions are to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, and to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse following injury or death as a result of law enforcement interaction, to have free access to legal and community support following a critical incident by law enforcement, to delay and or refuse an interview, deposition, or other discovery request from an investigative entity without fear of intimidation or retaliation, to be free from false or misleading information and opinions from investigative entities prior to the legal conclusion of the investigation, to have all conversations with and updates from investigative entities in the victim and or family's preferred language, to have free, quick, and unredacted access to information, materials, and findings relevant to the injury or death of the victim with an opportunity to review for up to 48 hours prior to public availability, to have free, quick, and unredacted access to all employment files for the involved officer or officers, including but not limited to disciplinary history, use of force history, complaint history, personnel file, AZ post file, and training history, to be informed of, present and upon request heard at all investigatory and disciplinary proceedings where the involved officer or officers have the right to be present, to be notified of investigative milestones and outcomes upon completion of the investigation at least 24 hours prior to public notification, to petition the county attorney to reopen a case against the officers involved if the county attorney neglects to press charges against an officer, to have personal belongings that are logged as evidence authorized for release within 24 hours of the closure of a criminal investigation into the officer involved or within 90 days of the critical incident, whichever occurs sooner, to access supportive services and restitution financed by the involved municipality, the opportunity to discuss and participate in police department policy change and reform efforts, to be free from future law enforcement violence. As we introduce this legislation, we know that this is not the entire solution, but rather a start to bring real accountability and transparency to the treatment the families face after our loved ones are violently taken from us. While I'm also fully aware that this Family Bill of Rights will not bring an end to the high level of police violence our communities face, it is time that the families that are impacted by police protections written into law here in these chambers also bring legislation that guarantee my family and the families gathered here that we will be treated with dignity and respect, with the dignity and respect we deserve. The Family Bill of Rights is the bare minimum that this state legislature owes us. The families are here, and we will continue to be here, and we will continue to fight to see this bill become law one day. My brother's death will not be in vain. And we will continue our work to end police violence and for our loved ones to not be another hashtag.